Part 3 of Scream 4 review. If you haven't seen the movie,
don't watch this.
Unless you want the spoilers.
Unless you want to hear about Nate Dunning's butthole.
Alright, we're going to go in-depth discussion on the recap of the whole ending of Scream 4.
Alright, recap.
Revealing who Ghostface is.
So we left off with, her mom getting killed. And
so Neve Campbell freaking goes to freaking Kirby's house, which is Hayden Panettiere's character.
Gail Weathers sets up the cameras, go on.
Gail's in the hospital at this time.
Gail's at the hospital now. She got stabbed. It's just a flesh wound. Go on.
And so the cops broke up the barn party because Gail got stabbed. So then, what's his name? Charlie and Robbie end up going to Kirby's.
And it's another appearance of Ghostface.
And Jill's there.
And you're like, wow.
No, we already talked about the barn. Shut the hell up. It's the ending at Kirby's house. You freaking idiot.
So then Kirby. Go on.
They're watching the Stab 7. They're like, oh, I can watch this every time.
And she's like, what's up, Macaulay Culkin? Macaulay Culkin's brother.
And then Macaulay Culkin's brother is just like hitting on wants Kirby the whole movie.
He's like,
he's just like, you like horror, Kirby?
You're a horror fan?
He's just like, who's the freaking who played Leatherface in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
And he's like, wow.
And she's like, Gunnar Hansen.
He's like, he's like, wow, that's in the script, Hollywood.
He's like, wow, who doesn't know that?
Wow, go on. So then she's
and then Trevor, Jill's former boyfriend.
Trevor shows up again, and you're like, wow, he's not invited. And you're like,
he cheated on her with Amy Teagarden, the girl who got killed in the first place.
So you're
in the
still
first scene.
Suspecting him.
Hold up, yeah. They don't really say that clearly, but she says it on the phone. She's like, who is this Trevor? When she's like, is this Trevor in the Ghostface scene? And he's like, it's not Trevor. And it's Jill who kills her. And then, so, it's probably Jill and Charlie. And then, Trevor shows up. Her boyfriend. You're an idiot, Luke. You don't even remember any of this.
I'm trying to think of the last scene.
I'm trying to think of that. And he's like, what? Jill invited me. And she's like, no, I didn't. And then she runs upstairs for some reason. And you're like, okay. You're like, okay, that's suspicious. Why would she?
I know, but it's something. But
you're like, okay, she's definitely going to be a Ghostface at this point. And then you're like.
And then you get the call and that deteriorates.
No, then they kill off the kid from Saw 2. Eric Knudsen, he's walking with the vlog outside, taking a piss.
Yeah, he's taking a piss like off his light beer. He's full.
No, he was like drinking tequila, and then he was like, then he gets stabbed, of course, and then he's like, hold up, I'm gay. Oh
yeah, it's the part.
And supposedly it's Jill as Ghostface at that point,
because
she goes and she's like, no, I didn't. She walks off upstairs and she gets in the Ghostface outfit, kills him. And then Charlie's like hitting on Kirby, and he's like, and then they start making out.
And that's when what's his name walks in on him. So then
he's just like, were you guys just about to make out? No way. What the fuck?
And he's like, wow.
Really?
JD Prokos.
You're about to give Macaulay Culkin breath?
Wow, Macaulay Culkin's brother's breath?
Wow, really?
All right, Heroes? And tequila? Go on.
Really?
So then, who gets killed next?
And she's like, what the fuck are you doing here, Trevor? Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah, go on.
And then Neve Campbell finally shows up at the house, and she's like, where's Jill? Killers, of course the killer's killing everyone.
Like, killers, we
of course the killer's killing.
I need to get everyone together. So we go upstairs and she's not there.
She doesn't even have a plan, but she acts like she has it like all planned out or something. It's like retired. She's like running through it like she's like
Ghostface.
Like she's on the Celebrity Apprentice or something. Like, let's do this. Get these over here. Get these chairs over there. And then run through the house, and then that's when it's the iconic one. When it's just her and Kirby and Jill, and she's like, Jill, you go into the bed, listen to me. And you're like, what? Why would she say that? And she goes out on the awning, jumps off, and then her and Kirby get stuck in the laundry room, and Mr. Creepshow hasn't even said a word for like 5 minutes because he's totally retarded right now.
No, go on.
And then that's when it's the iconic call of Ghostface, the last iconic one, and he's just like, name the groundbreaking horror remake. and they don't even get to finish the freaking answer.
This is pretty
and she's like,
suspenseful part because you don't.
she's like the Texas Chainsaw
You don't
Massacre.
think
The
he's
hills
the killer
have eyes.
because he was tied up. This is pretty suspenseful.
Oh yeah, they tie him up
Yeah, 'cause
outside,
it's
just
the
like the
double- it's the
opening
double
scene
ghost
from
face.
Scream 1, 96.
And so she goes around the corner and she gets stabbed. Here's another whack thing about this though. Freaking Sydney gets stabbed. Ghostface comes around the corner and Sydney gets stabbed. Right there. And but it's like that wound doesn't even affect her. She's still up for another 5 minutes while she's talking. And also they don't even break out the iconic Ghostface
That isn't
voice
even
changer.
there yet. No, then she unties Charlie.
Go on,
from
she
the
unties
frickin-
Charlie, and
He's just like, you should have trusted. He's like, you stupid bitch.
he's like, why didn't you make out with me my freshman year?
He's like, why? He's like, why didn't you give me herpes in
He's like,
07?
Why didn't I get gonorrhea from you in like 04?
What the hell? And he's just like, you stupid bitch. And it's like a totally Hollywood line.
Well, you
You're
didn't
like-
know he was gonna do
And
that.
it's kind of hard to buy into, and like the performance wasn't even that amazing. And then it cuts to Nev Campbell in the stairway, and it's total like Studio B, Lot 3.
It's Studio B in
Set
Hollywood. And they're
H.
like, all right, film, roll.
All right, and
All right,
Macaulay
plywood
Culkin,
stairs.
brother. All right, fake blood on his hands.
Ketchup,
all right,
bro.
run around. All right,
Ketchup.
get in the zone of acting. I
Fake
wonder what
blood.
his mindset was. Then he comes around the corner. He's like, "Hey, you watch enough horror movies?" And he's got the knife
All right,
around her.
he's
He's
got
like,
her. So she's already got stabbed. Or no, he's got her. No,
"He's like, all the
that's
plots
what she
are
wants.
about killing you."
Yeah, he's like, you think it's all about? You think anyone gets away?
And he's
You
like
think anyone
talking
gets
like
away?
he's like about to do his vinegar strokes or something.
Anyway, so then she busts away from hits him against the wall, and that's when freaking the second Ghostface Jill stabs her.
His
She gets
fucking
stabbed right in
vinegar
the stomach.
strokes voice.
She gets
and
stabbed in
you're
the
like,
stomach, and she doesn't even.
oh, then it reveals that there's
The
two
real- reveals the-
Ghostface
reveals the
finally,
Ghostface, who it
officially.
is.
And you're
And
like,
she
oh, I
doesn't
wonder who this is.
And she doesn't
she
even
comes
have-
around the corner and stabs. And she stabs her, and she pulls off her mask, and you're like, oh my god, it's fucking Lindsay fucking Lohan.
You're like, wow, Lindsay Lohan
It's fucking Ghostface.
is Ghostface.
You're
Wow,
like-
why didn't they just cast Miley Cyrus? Why?
You're like, what, Miley Cyrus was doing the last thong or something?
But no, back to the main point. They don't even have the iconic freaking voice changer. They should. All he has is that stupid
Her
webcam
line-
inside the screen thing.
She's
it's so
like,
stupid.
and now it's time
She's
for
like,
the
now-
cameras to turn
Now
off.
the cameras turn off.
So I could
Before
go
that,
into my Hollywood
Right before that, she
lines.
should have had her head the voice changer like it was me, Sydney.
Should have been like, surprise, Sydney.
Surprise, Sydney. Yeah.
One
they should
last
have that.
time,
One
Roger L.
last time.
Jackson.
Like,
That's
what-
always so iconic.
Wes Craven didn't even think about it. He was like too old. He's got syphilis in his mind or something.
And the
Go on.
Weinsteins were just like giving Quentin Tarantino a hand job.
So, anyways, but I got respect for him for Weinstein's for.
No, the Weinsteins make a bunch of tight movies,
But anyways, so
but they let Quentin
Ghostface is
Tarantino do
revealed.
whatever he wants.
Sydney's already stabbed, and then she's talking to her forever, and you're like, what the heck? And then she stabs her
So it's
again.
Emma Roberts, 09, smoking hot, and you're
They
like,
take her boyfriend out of the
you can't
closet.
even listen to the lines because you're just like, oh my
They
god,
take-
smoking
They
hot.
take Trevor Hughes out of the closet, and freaking he's all tied up, and they're like,
Just like, so they restage.
and they whip out the classic gun
It was
and
supposed
knife,
to be a replica, and their motivations were
and they're like,
Charlie
hey.
was going to be the new Randy Meeks, which is Jamie Kennedy's character.
She's like, hey,
and Jill
I
was
wanna
going to be
become
the new
you.
Sydney.
She's like, I want to become you, Sydney.
It's
never
really
about
hard to
you.
buy
And
into,
you're like, wow, this
and the
is kinda
performance
gay.
isn't even that amazing. Even though I like Emma Roberts as an actress, but
Go on.
it's
It's
just
pretty-
kind of hard to buy into.
So she's
But
setting
then,
up the scene for the cops to come.
oh, and then she's just like, and then Charlie's like, Charlie gets the girl, and they start making out.
And then he's like Macaulay Culkin's
And he
brother
whips
gets the
out a
girl
prop
for
gun,
the
and
first
he's just
time.
like, Jill, the cops wanted you to have this for your protection, and it totally makes
And
no
he's like,
sense.
oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense. He's like, Jill, cops want you to have this for your protection. Here, he hands her the.
But they
freaking
always have to
45.
have a gun for the ending of Ghostface for every time.
All right,
But that's
so
tight
go
though.
on. And she's like, you know what, Trevor? They really, you know what the media really wants? They really want a soul survivor. And
She's
it's
just like, you think you had a shitty boyfriend,
oh, but it's
Sydney?
pretty hilarious because he's like, shoulder me, and she's gonna stab
You
him.
think you had a
And
shitty
she hits him in
boyfriend,
the
Sydney?
heart.
Here's one that fucks you.
Oh, shut up.
Shoots him in the
Go
balls.
on. And then she shoots him in the balls. Go on.
So then Lindsay Lohan, and then she's just like, all right, let's do it. And then Charlie's like, all right, let's do it old school, like Billy and Stu. Shoulder me. And he's like, and then she goes to stab him. She stabs him right in the heart, and you're like, no. And you're like, no, they're not gonna be back. And you're like, oh great, it's gonna be a freaking
like,
generic
just gonna be
freaking
jail.
Scream ending of where freaking Ghostface doesn't get away. You're like, no.
And then she freaking stages the scene.
Most of the
Puts
young
the
cast
knife
is
up and
dead by this
stabs
point. You're
her
like,
in her
what the
chest.
hell?
She stabs her shoulder, cuts herself up, busts herself inside the table. And you're like, all right, yeah, that would hurt. Cool.
Then they go to the hospital scene, and it's like 1981 Halloween
And
or
then
something.
you're like, all right,
You're
movie's
like-
still going on, all right.
And then she walks, and then she goes to finish off Sydney in the hospital. Dewey's like, dude, she's still alive. And then she's like, who are you, Michael fucking Myers? And then, of course, it's like a whole hospital scene. They're like, Jill Myers.
Wow.
The ending.
Wow. And you're like, all right. And Dakota shows up, and she's like, and it's like a stand. It doesn't even make sense. Why she wouldn't even get out of her bed to kill Sydney? She's gonna be still alive.
Okay, to sum up the
Because
thing,
it's already
they
over.
they said this
The
young
cops are
cast
there.
was supposed to bring us into the new generation, and then they kill them all off. Emma Roberts is dead. Macaulay Culkin's brother's dead. Kid
Everybody's
from
dead.
Saw 2's dead, presumably dead.
They all
Kirby's
got
presumed
They
dead.
all got corn syrup blood all over them.
But Courtney Cox and her Botox is alive.
And their Botox going.
Dewey's alive, of course, retarded. He got hit in the head
Dewey
with
got
like
hit
a
with
frying
the freaking
pan,
frying pan.
in the middle of a hospital.
It's a
or
hospital. He
something.
whips out a frying pan. It's
She
like,
rips out a frying pan like it's Looney Tunes
like
or
it's
something.
Looney Tunes. She's like, doofy. Don't. Go on.
So I don't know where they're gonna. They ruined the. So I don't know where they're gonna.
We don't know where they're gonna go with the next script here.
But of course, I can't wait for Scream 5.
Yeah, it was good overall. It was good. It had that one,
They're gonna have to
black
start
hole.
from ground zero, though. It's gonna be.
They're gonna have to freaking call.
It's gonna be
Hollywood.
even harder to buy into to see
have
who
to call the
Ghostface
Hollywood
is next
hotline.
time.